All right, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to Bond Estates. My name is Timothy. I'm from Bond Estates. Today I'm going to be your host. For those who may not be familiar with Bond Estate is behind the develop project in Bangsa South called The Estate, which we have received a raving review upon completion in 2021. Currently, we are in the process of constructing our second project in Klang Valley, namely Mon Kiara in Mon Kiara, which you may see the scale model right at the back or the side you in this room. As we continue to expand our portfolio, we are privileged to meet great individual along the way. Today is a truly special day yet again, as we have the privilege to host a trio of a renowned content creator who are sharing the stage together for the very first time. Second time, sorry. Yesterday was the first, today was the second time. Let's extend a warm welcome to Peter from Mr. Money TV. Sean from iHeng. Frankie from FAQ Show. And joining them in the limelight will be Bond Estate CEO, Mr. Chan Jin Wai. So, gentlemen, please introduce yourself.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
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 Okay, Ken. Hi, everyone. My name is Peter. I run a channel called Mr. Money TV. So basically, I talk about finance, anything related to money. Yeah. Nice to meet you guys.
Oh, you want to clap hand one, is it? Hi, I'm Sean, and if you don't know me, then I'm a failure already. I'm that one. I run. I'm a YouTuber for property segment. So if you are here not for my reason, then I'm sorry. Yeah.
Hi, Frankie here. I have another channel called the FAQ Show. The FAQ Show. Talk a lot about stocks, investments, economies, and stuff like that. Yesterday in our crowd we have some teenagers here. Today I think it's even more interesting because we have babies. Oh, good job, good job.
Hi everyone, Jinwai here. I'm the CEO of Bond Estates. Thanks for coming by today. I'm the only one different here. I don't have a YouTube following.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I have a YouTube
Coming,
account
coming.
only. Right, thanks for coming. Hope you guys enjoy today. Thank you very much.
Yep, thank you. So let's kick off with a question to Jinwai. Jinwai, please tell us why Bond Estate have our second project in Mon Kiara, and when there's a lot of development around there, why Mon Kiara for the second project, Bond Estates?
Okay, I think I'll just go straight into it. I guess you guys are here into Bond Estates Gallery here. Of course, our showroom is upstairs as well. The second project that we're doing right now is called Mon Kiara. So it's a freehold residential project, 4.15 acres, 410 units, 2,000 square feet to 3,000 square feet. Those are typical units, so family size units, right? So perhaps the question you probably ask is that why are we doing such large sizes versus the micro or small or medium sizes? I think what we have done is that a bit of a study and research showing that there is such a demand, especially right after COVID. So I think during COVID, when you stay in a smaller unit, you want to have your space to work. Of course, have challenges. And suddenly you have a lot of home chefs. You want to start cooking, your kitchen is a bit too small. Those who have young family and kids running around, you can't do your work. And then you want to hide in the room to do your work, you can't see them. So I think there are many things of that learnings from COVID. That's how we came about this size. Secondly, of course, if you talk about Mon Kiara itself, if I dial back a little bit, back in the days before it's called Mon Kiara, it's called Sir Gambot Law, right? So in the 1990s, early 90s, I think that's when so-called Sir Gambot was starting the transformation. After 30 years as of today, the supply of apartments or residentials that came into the property or came to the market is quite a staggering amount. It's about 15,000 to 18,000 units. So times 4 packs, In terms of population, you're looking at also 60 to 70,000 people, population-wise, right? But nevertheless, being said that Mon Kiara itself is still a very densely populated area. However, the biggest concern is always traffic access and of course traffic jam lah. That's always the biggest challenge that everyone faces. But again, I think going to anywhere, Cheras, Sungai Long, Taman Tun, except Bukit Beruntung, you won't get traffic jam lah. So anywhere you go, traffic jam is going to be bad. It's also going to be heavy. But again, it's always a certain time. It's not the whole day. Versus other countries, Bangkok, Jakarta, those have been there, it's like jam most throughout 3-4 hours, right? So I think that being said is that why Mon Kiara itself, I think Mon Kiara has a very attractive element to it where you have local, you also have international market as well, which equals to a very nice blend of lifestyle, yet also attractive for expats or rental market, investor market, and also for living as well. So those who are probably going to stay in Mon Kiara, there isn't many kopitiam there. Probably nearest is Solaris or Hatamas. Mon Kiara doesn't have kopitiam. You have coffee house, right? So, but you're also a stone throw away to Kepong, Park City, for your usual Chinese eateries or even Chinese schools as well. It's not too far away. So I think Mon Kiara itself is a very, very strategic area, which with the population and the density-wise, it is quite an interesting market. I think Sean will definitely have more insights to it. He has like 12 properties there or something. So,
I think it's 24.
No. 23, 24, the next one, Mon Kiara. So anyway, I think Mon Kiara is just an interesting environment there. And of course, people say, so many high rises there. Why you're still going there? It's a godlike area to do a development. But it has still a certain appeal towards the local market and also towards the international market. I think international market, you talk about Bangsa, they may not know. You talk about KLCC, they know. That's for sure. Then the next one, Mon Kiara. Definitely they would know because of their friends who stayed there for many, many years, right? From the Taiwanese to the Koreans to the expat Europeans to the Japanese. So I think Mon Kiara itself has a different attraction to the different markets. That's why we are looking. Thanks.
Thank you, Jimai, for the insight. So, ladies and gentlemen, before I move to the next exciting question, please prepare whatever question you have in mind. For the next hour will be open up for Q&A. All right. So I'm sure everyone want to know this answer. What should you look out before buying the first $1 million home, first $1 million ringgit home? Gentlemen, would you give an insight about this? Maybe you can start with you, Sean, with your vast experience in property.
$1 million home. The question is what?
What should we look out before buying your first $1 million home?
Money go. Okay lah. So money active income wise definitely lah. But I think instead of the $1 million criteria in Mon Kiara itself, if you can find anything below $1 million, I think it's very attractive already. So it's either an older one. No diss. I'm not dissing you, just be. So it's an older one, but if you're a newer one, then if you follow the channel, I just acquired one in Mon Kiara. That's why it's very, my heart broke a little because when I see them, because I buy less than half the size for 1.1 million. So a bit cuckoo. But then I was doing the research based on rentability. So the question then can be broken down into own stay or investment. If own stay, then you can afford, you buy lah. You like, you buy lah, right? Who am I to tell you not to buy? But for investment wise, then I bought because of the criteria that Jinwai just shared just now. Mon Kiara has this very special characteristic where rental can only be derived by temporary demand of space. Why people will pay such a high rental might as well buy the property. When you know the installment is 4,000, who will be in the right mind to pay 5,000 for your house? Might as well they buy. But for foreigners, there's no point buying. They are only there for 3 to 5 years at max. So next contract, business contract, then they will go somewhere else. And therefore, will you buy a cow just to drink milk? You won't, ma. But then within that 3 years, I will want to stay comfortably. That's why the standard of fully furnishing is very important in Mon Kiara. With that in mind, suddenly the rental is crazy high. Like when I buy my property, it was 3,008 when I signed the papers, rent. Then when I get the keys, it was 4,002. When I fully furnished the house, it was 5,000. Is it skills? I don't think so lah. Because I made my decision based on 3,008. And this phenomenon is not easily available in all areas. So Mon Kiara 1, Bangsar South 1. That's why my question when I see Jin Y, the first question was, this being your very early project, right? You choose, then he said godlike. That was my term to him. You pick Bangsar South and Mon Kiara as your starting point. Right? It's like you should always go ulti level in Dota. That should always. So that was my comment. That's why I think $1 million, if you tell me in Shah Alam area, then okay lah, right? It's a challenge. But in Mon Kiara, you close eye one. And that's another good thing about Mon Kiara to me. I think it's a mistake done by the government also. I hope they're not here. The criteria of setting 2 million for Klang Valley projects as the foreigner cap versus 1 million in KL. Very weird. So suddenly, right, if you are in PJ, your project needs to be 2 million to sell to foreigner. But across the street, right, 1 million, you want or not? Oh, then like, suddenly you have this new crowd of tenants to target to. So if you base on rentability and investment point of view, 1 million or not, that's not my mark, but I look at median price first. If I buy 1 million when my neighbor is 700, then I'm something wrong, right? But when everyone else is 1 million, I'm buying 1 million, then it's fine. So it's not so much about that 1 million or not, but can the 1 million fetch 5,000 in rent? 6,000 in rent. Then it can justify, it can cover the rent. I close eye, I buy. That's how I buy a 1 million one. But like 1 million in Mon Kiara is nothing, bro. Really, I don't know. Yeah, that's my answer.
All right. Thank you, Sean. So, in your review, when you've been going to do a review in Mon Kiara, right, Sean? So, with the latest guess of our access road, what do you think about the road going to impact the whole Mon Kiara area with the new Jalan Kiara 3 to Duta Kiara access road? How would it impact the whole flow of Mon Kiara? And also the value of Mon Kiara surrounding area?
People who stays in Jalan Kiara 4 will make noise. Okay, because a lot of people who bought Jalan Kiara 4 thinking that it's a private road, suddenly now open already, like, I don't know how they answer. That's why my next visit is to their boss's office. How you all answer your client? I don't know, right? Because I sampat. Then I did a video about the entire typology of Mon Kiara. Just to illustrate, for all y'all that first time see Mon Kiara kind of thing, Mon Kiara, because it's so diverse and so advanced in property development, every street has its dynamics. So when you do comparison, you compare Jalan Kiara 3 only. Don't take Jalan Kiara, main Kiara, and tell you Jalan Kiara 3 is a good buy. Because easily close eyes is 200 to 150 per square feet difference. So you don't take the, okay, if I want to sell you, I'll say the otherwise. I am sorry for the salesperson. Then that being answered, suddenly when Jalan Kiara 3 has always carried this stigma of having squatters and ultra luxury homes on the same street. So if you all are considering to get one of these, book first, okay one, right? Then, but I would encourage to go to the site because not many people can accept, especially if you're not from construction. For me, it's like my second home, right? But then it's out of norm because usually everywhere else is all covered, packaged nicely as the site. This one is very different. But because of that, it becomes very exciting. So I was documenting Mon Kiara for 4 years already, just because my office is there. No, I'm very hardworking. I look at this stretch of this 20-meter road, nobody want to build one. And surrounding, you got around 6 to 7 other public listed developers around, all don't want to build. Then the new boy, the new kid in town, decided to pull the trigger and improve the whole thing. That's why I'm very, very interested in why they want to do it. Because you benefit the whole street. Suddenly from Segambut to Duta Mas, right? Oh, wow. So because of that, I think it comes with the pros and cons. But besides the expansion, more access is always better than no access, lah. Right? But just that if you are in Jalan Kiara 4, I'm sorry, lor. If you're in Jalan Kiara 3, then congratulations, lor. Because I got some in Duta Mas and Mon Kiara, not 22, but a few. So I'm happy to look at it. Because if there's a shortcut right now, I want to go to Duta Mas from Segambut. Wow, so much easier. Really so much easier. But very thankful for them to actually build that. So, but I also don't like, what's your business strategy? The one, okay, offline lah.
Well, just to answer why we do it, I think first and foremost, fortunately, our founder, Mr. Goh, he's a very a person who wants to over deliver lah, right? And I think being said that to connect the road, yes, it's gonna benefit everybody, but critically, it was also gonna benefit our residences lah, right? So I think sometimes it's karma in a sense. Pay it forward, see how it works. At the end of the day, it comes back to you. And critically, is once the road is connected, the value of the property will also go up as well, right? So I think at the end of the day, it's not just giving just dollar back, but give back to the community. This contribution, I think, is worthwhile to do it.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we're pushing very hard to get this connected. And you rightfully said, I think you have many. I would say most of the developers in Mon Kiara are all listed lah. They're still privately owned. Everything come out from our own pocket, you know. So that's why Sunday also I got a kerja. So
complain a bit.
So just kidding. But anyway, nevertheless, I think that's the heart and the vision of Bon Estates at the end of the day. And the only way for us to differentiate ourselves versus the bigger boys or the taikos in the industry is for us to deliver more than what people are delivering. And I think that's the only answer I can give you.
Then if you guys saw the review that I did, right, the Mon Kiara, one of the crucial thing I like was the selling price now. I think they increased it. I don't know whether they increased or not, right? It's not like I want to go to buy, right? So if I buy also, I'll ask later. But anyway, if I want to, the point that I like was the pricing because I checked multiple times whether is it a mistake or not. Because the neighbor just VP ma. And every time people VP, they will email me, hey, Sean, you want to come to my house or not? Right? Then my next question is, how much you bought? Of course, me being me. Then when I get the answer, then like, they are the one building the road and they are the one spoiling the market. Interesting, huh? That's why I invite him for a podcast instead lah. So that was the whole story of the road. But overall, to answer the question, I'm going to fail this paper if this is an exam paper. I think it's going to be beneficial. It's going to be, and it's only the starting point, I think, for the entire street. Because if you look into the development line across the road, upcoming a lot more already. We are talking like they are the only one new there. No. There's going to be another duplicate of Mon Kiara, I think. Mon Kiara still got a lot of land, one. We all think no more land already. Wow, think again. That's why the road is very important. I talk a lot. Okay, sorry.
All right, thank you for the insight. So next will be Peter. This question will be for you. I'm thinking a lot of people will be very curious to know this. How would you advise someone while starting their property investment journey? Someone who want to start their property investment, what would you advise with your vast experience in investing?
All of you here invested any property? Yeah. If you invested in a property, can you raise up your hand? Are you looking at investing in your second unit? Raise up your hand. Yeah. Okay. Anyone here no property at all? Okay. Yeah. So I think the idea is very simple, right? At the end of the day, if let's say you're looking at investing your first property, firstly, like what Sean said, you need money. Yeah. If you got no money, you're thinking that you can invest in property. I think that's being a little bit crazy lah. Yeah. I know there are a lot of methods in the market that shows you like no money down, or like refinancing and so on and so forth. But you must always remember, even when you refinance, when you play with all these kind of things, you're actually borrowing money from a bank, future money that you need to pay back as you go along. So you better have money before you invest. You can take a little bit of risk, but you must be careful. That's number one. right? Number two is when it comes to approach of buying a property. I think the most important thing is that you need to understand the difference between a home investment and investment property, right? Buying a home is all about whether do you like it. If you love a home all the way in Rawang, go ahead. No one's going to stop you. You're buying Ipoh and stay and work in KL also, it's up to you, you know. Yeah, no one's going to stop you, right? As long as you're happy, you can afford to drive those hours, you are happy, you know, whatever. But if you're looking at an investment property, that's a whole different story. I'll give you an illustration when I first started investing in property was back in uni. This is something that hit me. I studied in UPM. Anyone know UPM? University Putra Malaysia? Yeah, Sedang. You all know that area, right? So there's this back door out this faculty, right? We go and makan one. Go and makan chap fan store. And when we walk out, there's these old ugly flats. They are not government flats. They are just during those days, that's a standard flat, right? as good as it is, right? Yeah. And what I learned was that my friends who rented one unit there was 600 ringgit. Just for one room. One room. Yeah, 600 ringgit. 2 rooms, 1,200. So when I looked at the building, I was like, so ugly, you know. In my life, I'm thinking I'll never ever want to stay in a place like that. So ugly, right? That's something I thought to myself. But the rental rate, fantastic, right? Yeah. So that kind of changed my mind that, actually, if you want to look at an investment property, you don't want to be too emotional about it. Yeah, you don't have to think about whether do you love the place, do you feel good about it. It's all about numbers and figures. That's number one. But on the other hand, you also need to know certain aesthetic facts of it, like design, right? So talking about Kiara Tree, right? My unit is in Kiara Tree, so I'm very happy. Thank you, Bon. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. So that was also always a question that we had in mind. Hey, why not just connect it, right? Connect it and got more property value go up. Yeah. Now, having said that, then the thing is this. When you want to buy property, for me, I was a little bit different. I bought cheaper properties that I slowly move up to higher value property. Reason being no money. You need to slowly move up and slowly buy. Yeah. And then you need to ask yourself a question along the way, right? Are you gonna refinance? Are you gonna sell off a property or whatnot? Now, so it comes down to in the end when you want to buy a property for the first time, the question is very simple. When you want to invest, do you have a very clear strategy ahead or clear reason? Are you buying to sell? Do you want it to flip? Like after 5 years, you're going to sell it off, wait for property increase, or you're going to look at refinancing? Yeah? Or you're going to rent it out? Now, then you need to ask yourself this question. If you're going to buy a property, who do you think will pay a lot of money to buy a property? If tomorrow I show you a house that's very beautiful, like you walk up there to the showroom later, yeah, you will feel very impressed. Very, very nice. Yeah. So you feel great. When you feel great and then you want to stay, what happened? Are you willing to pay more or pay less? Now, men, you don't have to answer. You just have to look to your wife. Because statistics has shown to buy a home is the wife's decision. Yeah. And then it doesn't matter. That's why they will pay more as long as they're happy and they can afford, right? But if you look at investment property, your target audience is actually going to be usually men. And it comes down to people like me, dollar and figure. I'll come to you and I'll say, hey, they're leaking, they're not nice, this one, hey, down the street, I can get another one like that, can be cheaper. That's what we do, we go and push for the price.
Me, don't we, no, we, yeah?
Hey, no, you different. People already offer you cheaper, you don't need haggle. So that's the idea, right? Now, so then it comes to the next part, when it comes to renting. I believe that every single type of property have its own market, right? If you're going for a property that is slightly cheaper, say in the sub of 300, right? Your people who are renting the property, the nature is what? Do you think people who rent a less than $300,000 property is people who are very rich or people who need a place to stay? Which one? They need a place to stay, right? Yeah. Now, if you're renting out to someone who's going to rent at 7,000 ringgit a month, do they need a place to stay or they have the option of choosing somewhere they are happy to stay in? Which one? Happy staying, right? So you see, you think about it as a business, right? If your customer is someone who just needs chap fan, when you go to a chap fan store, do they care whether the chap fan bowl is served as plastic or ceramic? Nobody cares, right? But if tomorrow you were to go to what's the most expensive restaurant around? Yeah.
Wrong person,
I also
bro.
don't know. Yeah. Okay, like Marina, is it Marina or Marini? Right? Yeah, there's a whole different thing, right? Even the glass also, you want to see whether it's crystal or not. Right? So then you got to ask yourself this question: which one can you play with? Now, then after that, you need to understand the location of the area. Definitely, different location have a different play. Yeah. For me, so just to give you a perspective of why I choose that particular street in Jalan Kiara Tree, right? Everyone says Jalan Kiara Tree is a lousier street in Mon Kiara because it's the street that go towards Segambut. Even if you go to Kiara 4, you want to go to everything else, at least it's secluded lah. It is not connecting to a lousier place lah. But over the years, as far as I'm concerned, right, there's a Garden International School there. It's not going to move. It's a school. How to move? You can't just move on next street, ma. It's a big place, ma, right? Number two, whether you like it or not, because the school is there, because there's Copenhagen there, there's already one commercial, small, very hipster-ish commercial lot there. People have to go to that road. Okay. Next thing is people who come from Segambut have to pass by there. Yeah. Now, as much as you say it's a lousy place, it's a lousy road, Kiara 1 is better, moving up there is better. But if you look at the development, last time was until Kiara 2 blocks down until the international hospital there, right? Yeah, global hospitals there, right? Now you look at the place that is there's like ceiling up to build properties. It's all the way until Mon Kiara there. Yeah. So that shows that there's going to be future development. So depending on strategy, right? If you have the money, you can straight away go for the place that is well known, that is good. But if you may not have the money, then you need to start looking at pockets of opportunity, right? So like for example, most of the property that I buy is, I don't go for the most expensive. The reason being is because I am not that rich. I don't think I can take that risk. Yeah, and as I run a business, we also got more overhead and stuff like that. It's a different story, right? But I want to look for pocket of opportunity because the upside is higher for me. Yeah. So an example like Kiara Tree, when I bought it during COVID, 400 plus per square feet. Today it's about, I think 500 or 600 per square feet. Yeah, so I bought it at 570. Then thanks to Mon Kiara building there, all these developers going along the road, helping to up the price some more. So my side there also go up. Today one unit is about, I think 600 plus. Yeah, so that's the good thing. So you want to look at potentials of earning when you're actually looking at a property. Yeah, using all the knowledge, like the type and everything. Yeah, here you can check with Yi-Heng, right? He's definitely a lot more familiar. Typology, those kind of stuff. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Peter, for the wonderful insight. So, Frankie, I heard you recently have moved to a new home in BU. So, if someone would like to purchase a similar home like you with $1 million, what's your advice? You want someone to be similar like you?
Have you watched his video of his home?
Wow, damn. No more privacy already. Well, in fact, I made two videos. One is on my new house in Bandar Utama, and one is an old house in Damansara Foresta, which is a condo. So your question was, what is the difference between the two, right?
My question was, if someone want to be like you to purchase $1 million home, what is the step? What's your advice to the person who want to follow just like you?
Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys noticed during COVID-19, the property market was very slow. And if you ask around why you never go and search for property and all that, because if you think about it, right, the demand is actually there. Right? People always want to buy a house to stay and whatnot. But when you ask them, the answer is always, the bank don't want to borrow me, right? Or the bank is very tight, right? Bank is not making money, so they are tightening their belt. They don't want to lend us money. But if you look at the regulation, right? Actually, during these 3 to 5 years, not much changes, It's the same, right? So at the end of the day, it comes back to actually one very important thing called the debt service ratio, the DSR. What does it mean? It means you earn your salary. After taking into account all your commitments, your car loan, your credit card debts and whatnot, whatever that's remained, if it is more than 60%, the bank will close eyes and lend you money, man, for sure, right? So, so how to earn, how to be like me and make the $1 million purchase? The number one most important criteria would be to maintain your DSR always above 60%. Right, so that backs to Mr. Money TV channel where he always talks about how to manage personal finance and all that to keep that ratio healthy, right? Okay, so for me, why I chose to move there is two reasons. One is because my kids are growing up and there is a certain school that we want to send them to, and the school is in Bandar Utama, so no choice, we have to move to Bandar Utama. But the second reason is, like what Peter mentioned, I have to look to my right, because wife always right. So I look to the right. So how? No, I want Bandar Utama. Even Damansara Jaya, Bandar Uptown and all that cannot, must be in Bandar Utama. Okay, lor, then you go and choose Bandar Utama, right? So that's how we moved there. But in me, right, the left side of the story, right, is that actually I was very happy staying in my old condo, Damansara Foresta, simply because it is a gated, guarded community. The facilities was great, and then you just need to fork out like certain amount of maintenance, and you get all these people to help you to maintain it. Very nice. For Mon Kiara's, you just need to turn around and look at the facilities that they provide there, right? It's so much better than what I used to have. So I'm really jealous about them. And I think in terms of the maintenance fee is also not very high, right? 31 cents per square feet. My old condo was 28 cents, and the facility is definitely not like that. So I think in that sense, I think they are really throwing back to the community and say, I want my residents who stay inside to really enjoy the facilities there and to come up with an affordable kind of maintenance fee for everyone, right? But is there any pros and cons between staying in a condo or staying in a landed house? Definitely, there are a lot of differences, right? For one, living in a landed house, it's an individual title, so nobody really cares whether you have dog shit in front of your house or whatnot. Everything you have to do it yourself, right? Whereas in a condo, it is a strata community, so everybody lives together. So in yesterday's session, I was sharing that my floor plate was shared with 7 other different units. So there are 8 units in one floor. And maybe it's our own neighborhood's initiative. All my 8 neighbors, right, during festive seasons, we will all open the door, and then the kids and whatnot, they will just run around. So it's something that's very pleasant. Whereas when I moved to BU, until today, I don't know who is my neighbor. I don't know what's their name and all that one. Yeah. So that's something different between the two.
All right, maybe Jinwan, you can share some of your insight as well, because you also moved from, my understanding, you moved from a landed to a high rise, the other way around from Frankie.
So no stories coming out now. Okay.
Yeah.
So first house was landed, bought at about in Kota Damansara. So it was a 22 by 85 with a nice backyard. I was staying in a landed, so I had a monsoon drain behind me, so there are a lot of tall trees behind, right? So staying in a landed, of course, good is you have your space, your car park is just there, you can just leave your wallet in the car, you can pick it up anytime. If you need to go to the washroom urgently, it's not too far of a run, so landed has its perks as well. But after that, I think there was some issues of, as I mentioned earlier, there's a monsoon drain, so there's a lot of trees and a gutter at the back. So then there are all leaves dropping. So lesson learned, if you're staying on landed, clear your gutters, okay? Heavy rain came, so rain came to the unit. So my wife was, of course, surprised and said, no, I'm not going to stay here anymore. So then we bought a condo and we moved into a condo. And I think, fortunately, I moved into a condo as well, because with living in a condo, it kind of helped me really understand how a condo resident pain points are and the benefits of a condo resident. Take, for example, let's say if the floor plate has 6 units, 8 units, or even 12 units per se, and the corridor to your lift lobby is quite long, and unfortunately, if your main door is facing a void area where the wind blows, it rains, wind blow, right? So you get a very wet corridor. Wet corridor, never mind. But a wet corridor, and then your entrance is just right in front of the opening, the water just go into your foyer, which is where your shoe racks are. Your shoes all get wet. So that's what happened to me. And unfortunately, my foyer was constructed, tilted inwards. So that was when water flew into the unit as well. So I think these are things that I learned, and that's where I talked to the team. And I think most of the time why I share all this is also because the products that we design and we build here is very much through our own personal experience, the pain points that we feel. So right now, after COVID or during COVID, parcel delivery is very important. I'm sure some of you are staying in condo. Probably they just put a foldable table there, and then you just label, don't touch, CCTV watching you. You know, things like this, no security. So that's where we also design and also put it into our in Mon Kiara as well. Secondly, the other thing to learn is that I think in condo living, most of the facilities are always either in the rooftop, middle of the building, or on the podium, which is above the car park, right? Very rarely you will find facilities on ground. So take, for example, the whole of Mon Kiara. I think there isn't any project or development that has a park within the development. So those of you who probably stay in a landed housing, I just bring back to my childhood days, right? Where I stay in a landed housing area. In front of me was a padang. And when my parents go to work, I can just play with my neighbors of all races, of all ages, and we just come back for dinner lah. Janji, you just come back lah, huh? Or sometimes run to the longkang and play also. But nevertheless, I think that's the whole point of community building. And that's where we stick true to our words to build communities as well. And of course, that's for the kids. What about for the fur kids, those who have pets, right? So fortunately, Kuala Lumpur is a very unique local authority, DBKL, where they allow pets. When I say pets, it means dogs lah, huh? But of course, it's to a certain size. Don't bring a Rottweiler in there. I still see some, but just be careful. And that's where we also dedicated a pet park within our development. So that's where pets these days are not just pets alone, it's fur kids already, right? That being said. And then thinking toward the future, suddenly EV became so big. Everyone's talking about EV, BYD, Tesla, so on and so forth. And that's where we put in EV isolators in your car park, where we have 410 units. So there'll be 410 points at your own car park. You don't need to park the common one and park overnight. You can come down and move. They won't call you middle of the night, right? So you can park at your own day. Critically, those who have gone to Mid Valley, I'm sure, your car park going up, it's quite a challenge, huh? Every half floor. So we have built in speed ramp, similar to like One Otama or KLCC. You can go down 3 floors or go up 3 floors. So what that means is you go to your floor, you can just turn off. You don't have to go around and round and round. Kepala also pusing already. So I think that being said, I think these are the things that we have learned from our first project. Of course, first project, many lessons learned. We did a few good things, but many more things can be improved. And we bring the learnings over here, and hopefully the third and fourth one could be more. But of course, the difference between living landed and condo, I think security is very, very key, very, very important. That's for sure. Now I can just travel with my wife, just close up the door, just double, don't worry about water leaking in a sense or break-ins. So I think that's very convenient for me. But nevertheless, I also feel that with us being a developer, we are the hardware builders. We can only build the property as much as we can, the hardware itself. But at the end of the day, the software are you guys, right? And the community that builds and how you make it more lively. And following through, I think there's also services that we're also putting in as well, like a shuttle service, if I'm not mistaken, that helps to bring you to certain hotspots within the area of Mon Kiara. So I think things like this is where we pride ourselves with Mon Kiara of effortless living, where you can still enjoy a landed kind of a neighborhood housing area within a high-rise with all these facilities in there. So I think that's how I would answer this question.
All right, thank you, Frankie and G1, for your personal sharing and experience. So, gentlemen, I know you are seasoned investors in properties. So, what is the criteria for property investment or for a property own use? What are the criteria that we should look at between investment and own stays? So, maybe any one of you want to start first?
I go first, but I will tap on your one first. So whether you all got listen or not, then you didn't listen, then I'm sorry. Basically, just now, he shared own stay and investment. Actually, there's one more third intention of buying a property, which is to show off. Hey, really one So got people buy like, this is when you have are in abundance really, you don't care, you buy to flex, right? Oh, that one I got, that one I got, that one I got. Okay. So how I wish I'm there, not yet. So between own stay and investment, then he explained really one is number driven, one is emotional driven. There's actually an in between. I got so much money, may buy one for investment, buy one for own stay, may, right? So the in between, I have this rule where it's called the 85% rule. As long as your rent can cover 85% of your current installment, I think it's a very good own stay. Why? It indicates that there's demand for the space of your property. Right? Meaning, because everyone, I believe everyone aspire to improve 5 years later lah. Right? Wait, you don't know leh. Not very sure. Well, 5 years too long. Okay. So 5 years later, okay, whatever years later, if you want to move out, then you want to rent out the place, you need to ensure that there's demand for rent. Even if it still closes around 85 to 88% of your rent, it means that you are using bank's money for free. Meaning you take 1 million debt, you pay back 1 million. If not, you need to pay back way more. Right? So the tenant actually pay for you. So you're using bank money for free in that way. That's how I look at property intent to buy. But then to me, I only stick to figures when I buy and invest. So it's either rental rates, because it's the stickiest number that cannot negotiate one. If today, if you rent a place, if your landlord tell you next month I increase 100, you go fly kite, right? Then if you tell your tenant, like for investor, you tell a tenant, hey, I'm going to increase 100, right? They will threaten you to move out one. It's that sticky. Then we argue about water bill, why this month you didn't pay, why month, right? It's very sticky. So then it means that it's the most genuine data in the market. The challenge then is how to get that figure. Nobody declare one, either for tax reason or for convenience reason. The other one then will be latest transacted price around the market, which I call it the median. So if you, let's say, I tell you this property at 700 per square feet or 600 per square feet, right? Is it expensive or is it cheap? If you cannot answer the question, find out first. Because if I will tell you this ikan bawal 60 per gram, whatever it means, right? Is it expensive or is it cheap? You gotta find out, ma. For everything that we do in life, we find out first, but only properties, right? Weirdly, people don't find out one. Chin chai la, ayya, right? Leceh. Then, if you want to go a little bit deeper, then again, in Mon Kiara, this one a bit specific to their project is above 2,000 square feet. Then you're going to look at what other projects around the market has this price. Because if you think from a tenant point of view, I need 2,000 square feet at least because I'm a rich Korean expat, right? What other, if I want to go for this one, let's say the rent is 6,000. What other choices I have? So suddenly the other units less than 1,000, right? All irrelevant already. So then only you make comparison. So when we crazy investors, we will think about how many 3 bedrooms in Mon Kiara, how many studio in Mon Kiara. And this is like a quiz question I always ask people. Does a 2+1 room perform better or a 3 bedroom perform better? People are, isn't it the same thing? No. Until the Partition Act come out lah. All right, for those who don't know, DBKL banned partition in properties in KL lah. But to what extent they ban, still to see. But we have seen some enforcement here and there, but nothing serious yet. Okay, so that is the things that I follow. Again, back to data is median rental rates. Then you can decide if you are in between, you follow the 85% rule, you stay 5 years, enjoy yourself, later you exit. Exit here meaning renting out or you want to sell. Because the rent will also determine the demand for the house also. If your rent right now can barely cover half, it's either you are very romantic to the property or you are very rich. You don't have to be close to urbanization. So that's my take on the question.
All right. So if you think about it, right, to buy a property for investment is either for homestay or for investment, right? For homestay, nothing to say. You buy your dream house, no matter what price it is, as long as you're happy. Now, when it comes to investment property, one very important thing, like Sean mentioned just now, is to use the bank's money for free. If you think about it, right, 1 year inflation, official number is always what, 3 to 5%, right? Let's say, let's take the average 4%. And how much is a mortgage rate today, roughly? It's also about 4%. So technically speaking, if you look at it that way, right, the bank is not earning money from you, you know. The bank is just taking back whatever that is inflation offset for themselves. Then what you want to do is after you take the loan, then you want to find a tenant to help to cover that 4%. Then it becomes free money from the bank already. On top of that, what you will get is hopefully over 5 years, 10 years down the road, land is scarce resources, right? All the building materials, your steel, you know, your aluminium and all that, they are all scarce resources. Prices are going to increase over time. So 10 years down the road, if let's say the empty piece of land next door is going to launch a new project, chances are, and very high probability, the selling price is going to be higher than your property that you bought 10 years ago. So essentially what you want to do is to use the bank's money and leverage on it and lock down the price today. And then all you need to do is just to make sure that the 4% inflation every year, you cover it with your tenant. Then when you want to liquidate, you want to sell it or whatever, 20, 30 years down the road, that's where you will make your gain lah. So for myself, right, well, just now you mentioned one reason is to flex, right? So I want to add on one more reason on top. Wow. Yeah. So the one more reason on top is to work backwards on what is your personal finance objective 3 decades down the road. Wow. So for myself, it's for children education. So I roughly think one children need about 1 million when they reach university level. So, and I have 2 kids. So my planning is I must have at least 2 million in front of me, right? So how do I work backwards 2 million? Today houses all at least 1 million already, ma. Okay, so I lock down 2 million today first. And because of inflation and whatnot, this 2 million, by the time you reach there, it has to be at least 3 million or 4 million. In the meantime, you know, I look for properties with good rental and whatnot and all those stuff. And to make sure my DSR ratio and all that, it's all in line, then I just play along until I reach that level. If I really got no extra cash, what I'll do, I'll sell those properties. And those properties will become my children education fund. Yeah.
So I won't add another reason. For me, again, it comes down to property investment is still a very simple idea. Like I said yesterday, right? Imagine if tomorrow your mother tell you, hey, boy or girl, if you were to save money today, you put $1 in a jar, I give you 4 more ringgit. But every month you do that lah. Are you happy? Will you take the deal? You save $1, your mother give you $4. Sounds like a good deal, right? Yeah. So that's the exact same relationship is when you are investing in a property that can rent out. Cannot rent out. Because like what you said, right, 85%. It means that if today I were to buy a property, I need to pay 1,000 ringgit in installment, but I can rent it out for 850. I only need to fork out 150. And end of the day, the money is mine, right? The property is still mine, right? When I sell it, it's still going to be mine. So that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of leverage. And that's why I always tell people, if it's your first property, always make it an investment property if you can. Because if you don't, then you actually just, I hope you are very rich. That's all I can say, right? Yeah. Now, on the other hand, there is also the other part of investment, like what Frankie said, right? You look at the future. Now, for me, it was less about children education. But when I got started investing in property that time was the idea of being able to refinance. Yeah. So why is it interesting? Is because let's say today I own 10 units of property and I'm going to retire and each property is rented out and already paid up a significant sum. Right? Then what happened is that the first year I can I can actually refinance my first property, not a lot lah, maybe 100K. 100K a year for you to spend, okay or not? Happy or not? Happy, right? What's the installment for 100K? Anyone know? About 4 to 500 ringgit, somewhere around there. Yeah. Can your tenant pay 400 ringgit a month for a property to stay? Can, right? Yeah. Chances are it's going to be more than that, lah, right? Yeah. Because let's say you buy this unit, you pay finish after 30 years. You refinance 100K. Bank will be very happy to give you, no. Because this property is like very expensive, right? But then your tenant, how much is he paying? He's paying a significant sum, and therefore the money is free. Now you've got money in your bank account, and it's free, paid by your tenant for your retirement. Second year, you can refinance the next property. Third year, you can refinance the next property. And why property is such a fun game when retirement is by the time you're retired, if you're lucky, you own a business that pays you still, right? How many of you here own a business? Okay, how many of you are working for people? After 60, will your company still pay you? Hey, laugh at employee, don't laugh like that, bro. Yeah. So, by the time you retire, will you still get paid by your boss? Yeah, unless you are a very good friend, your boss, or you marry your boss, or your boss marry you, you know. Yeah, that's a different story lah. But if not, chances are don't have. So property itself turns into an income, right? Yeah, I know here it's debatable. Some banks take that rental contract and there was the tenancy agreement, then they will say that it's acknowledged or not acknowledged. But I'm pretty sure when you have 10 tenancy agreement, they'll work out something for you lah. That's just how it goes. Yeah, if you think that it's not acknowledged, it's because you never meet enough bank officer. I tell you the truth. Yeah, so you automatically have an income, and it automatically allows you to refinance, whether is it for retirement purpose or whether is it for children education. But imagine if you have 10 property, every year refinance 100,000. Every of it is paid by itself. And you know what's the best part? The money is tax free. No one, even IRB come to you also, pinjam punya, bukan duit saya. Yeah. So that was what got me started obsessing with it in the early days. Although moving on ahead, I came to a position where I decided to focus a lot more on business and stuff like that. So I stopped accumulating on properties. But I think that's the beauty of having a property, right? Yeah. So if you are looking at investment-wise, then what I can say is that recently the latest lesson that I learned when it comes to looking for property to invest is actually design. Yeah, I think I talked about it yesterday. Yeah, I never really appreciate design. I'll be honest, I'm just a guy that looks at numbers. So the property I buy can be very ugly, and if you watch my show before, right? Very ugly property. Like, that's why I still stay in my mother, you know. I don't stay in my own property because it's so ugly. So, but lately I'm getting much more aware about design. Like, for example, what Jinwai said earlier, right? Your corridor there, when you walk out, the walkway, is it a 2-layer door before the rubbish, the waste area, right? Because that's very important. The smell don't come out. Yeah. Number 2, the space within. Because if you're thinking about rental game, people who rent a property, chances are they want to stay happy, right? Yeah. So within a condo, and we all know a condo usually the rental rate is better, lah, right? So why is it interesting is that within a condo, when you look at the space, can you hack a lot of walls in condo? Cannot, right? Cannot. You can try lah. Yeah. But up there, down there, then after that, you will get into a lot of trouble lah. Yeah. No, kidding. Don't try. You'll go jail. Okay. Yeah. But my point is that these are those unchangeable aspects that you want to pay attention. So, like for example, if you look up there, go to, I really encourage you to go to showroom. I really like it because there's 2 doors. One exit to the waste, not to the waste, but one I call it a maid's door or either a mistress door lah, where you can bring your mistress and run out lah. Then there's the main door, yeah. But at the moment you come in, you're straight away at the island place with the dining area. It means, imagine this, right? 2 exit to the 2 entry to the kitchen. Yeah. Why is this important? Imagine you and your friends are all okay. Your parents and their friends are hanging outside. Then you know that there's this uncle every time see you, up boy, lie, drink. You don't like that. You don't have to pass by that front already to go to kitchen, now you can go to the back. These things you cannot change later on, what I say. Right? And so that's why when you're looking at the $1 million property, you want to pay attention to details like that can't be changed. Yeah, things that can change like aircon, although is not so important. Whether they give you the tap is red or blue, I tell you it's not that important. 10 years later, you will likely have to change that tap already. But this kind of thing, you cannot hack another door. You cannot go and break another window and open it. Yeah, these are the things that are unchangeable. And finally, the last part is, I think a lot of people have this consideration, right? Why do you want to spend $1 million over ringgit on a condo versus a landed? 1 million plus, you can get landed, what? Right? Yeah. If you're talking about living, you have you ever lived in a 2,000 over square feet condo before? Yeah? You have lived in that, right? The experience is very different. Right? It is better than landed. Because your landed house is about 1,600 or 2,000 square feet, 22 times 75 or 22 times 80, the ground floor is probably about 1,000 only. And then suddenly divide by kitchen, everything, you still feel a bit claustrophobic. But imagine 2,001 flat, it's a whole different thing. You feel like you are living in a luxury house, right? Because that space. And after COVID, people appreciate that even more. That space is just wonderful. And if you ever find a landed that have one plane, that's 2,000, the house will cost you 5 million. Yeah, especially in the Bank Valley area. And so that's why it's about living quality when you're actually looking at a condo. And that's why condo at this size, you have a very specific target market that you want to rent out to as well. Yeah. And so that's why a 2,000 above square feet condo, there's only specifically a few places that can fly. It won't happen in Rawang, I can tell you that. No developer from Rawang here.
Literally, that's bungalow in the sky, right?
Correct. Yeah. So
Everything
these
on one
are
floor.
some of the details that you want to pay attention to and look at that, in my opinion, when you want to form your investment decision.
Maybe I can just add on a little bit as well. I think you guys are familiar with Mon Kiara, right? Okay. I'm sure you've checked out a few other developers, showroom, or probably staying or did your research. Any idea what's the current per square feet price that's calling for now from the properties that you visit? 500, 800, 100 per square feet? Mon Kiara. Kiara 3, Kiara 1. Let's say Kiara 1. 850. Okay. So of course there are. Of course.
Okay. Give or take, give or take.
Give or take, right. So I guess where I'm trying to come from is that from research-wise, why we are going at this size, why we're going at this price, we are not in a way selling too high of a price. That's for sure. 600 ringgit, 650 per square feet right now, right? Absolute price 1.3 million onwards. But as of today, if you were to go to any other new launches, easily, I think close eye 800 ringgit per square feet, easily. So the next question is, I think Sean also has mentioned yesterday as well, are you guys correct with your pricing? So I think critically is that because of the pricing wise, it has made it more attractive as well, first and foremost, as an entry price, right? Definitely not a first home purchase, right? Unless you have MBF, Mak Bapak Finance. So, but that being said is that I think first and foremost, market-wise, the prices are not at current market price. We are actually below market price. That's the first thing. Second thing is supply. Supply of what? Supply of small units, which is what Sean has purchased recently, which is below 1,000 square feet. Is it supply of medium-sized unit, 1,000 square feet to 2,000 square feet? Supply of large units, 2,000 and above, right? Earlier, I think when I did the introduction, I mentioned about close to about 15 to 15,000 units was built last couple of many years, right? And out of this 15, 18,000 units, how many of them is this supply of large units? Probably 10, 15% of. Okay, so I'll just dial back a little bit to Bond Estate's first project in Bangsa South, called The Estate. We launched 7 years ago in this same location, this gallery here. We started it off at 650 ringgit per square feet. Sizes is similar, 2,003 square feet to 3,005 square feet. As of today, we're 100% sold. Also, as of today, it has transacted the latest sub-sale price at 1050 per square feet. So 650 versus 1050, 7 years ago, you do the math. There's a capital appreciation of easily 40% there. And that was the time why we do that size. New kid on the block, nobody knows you, doing large sizes, luxury. I don't know, Sean, what do you think?
Yeah. Okay, back then when a lot of people email me, hey, you heard of these guys or not? The sales gallery and the site different place one. So, okay, I gotta be honest. 2 years ago, I said good luck. Because I dare not really pull the trigger because if you look into numbers, Bangsa South, right? Anything, that street I cover a lot already. So if you watch the channel, right? Anything like 600 square feet one, 1,000 square feet one, buy, make money one. 2,000, wow, I don't know. But then like yesterday he shared the numbers, I also like a bit regret.
So in Bangsa South, there is only, back then 7 years ago, there was only 222 units above 2,001 square feet. Of course, we are in the industry, we have to do our research, right? It's not a small project. You guys are buying for investment. So I think these are the things that we look into and why we go into such a size and offer the offerings that we offer. So in Mon Kiara, it's about 10-15% of 80,000. So you're looking about 2,000 plus each, so to speak. So that's where we come in and say, hey, there's such a market for this size, but it's not the size alone that would make people want to stay. It's the other facilities that, or the design, whether it's within the unit or within the development. So I think things like this is the one that we are helping you not to only stay, but also for you to differentiate, to attract the potential tenant or even for your own stay. So if you buy a cookie cutter development or project, yeah, there's no comparison, right? There's no comparison at all. But if you buy a development that has different elements to it that can help you to have more USP for you to sell, for you to rent out, I think that's where we put in that heart and soul of our injection in there. So I think these are the few things. One, of course, market research. Second is the product differentiation that's built by the developer. And thirdly, I think I wanted to piggyback on Sean's sharing earlier about expats coming to Malaysia. We are comparing all ringgit rental. Expats don't work on ringgit so much. US dollar, 4.7, 4.8 no, right now. Let's say 7 years, the completion is 3.5 years. So hopefully it doesn't go too high. I'll bring it down 4.5 or 4. 8,000 ringgit, 2,000 US dollars. Rental. Is that expensive for an expat family? I don't know. You do the math. You need better. From Talent Corp, I think easily for an expat, of course, foreign direct don't has lessened. Expats are lesser a bit, but it's growing again. I think if I recall, Talent Corp or expats, they have a budget of about 3,000 to 5,000 US dollars. That was before COVID. So even though you bring down a little bit, 3,000 US dollars times 4.5, I don't know, you do the math. So I think if to attract this kind of market, you have a larger audience as well, right? So that's a bit different. So I just want to add on the investment part. So the audience-wise, these are what we understand as well. We have a wider population to attract as well, especially Mon Kiara.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Due to the time constraint, we will draw one more last question before we open up the floor for Q&A. So from you guys, gentlemen's experience of investing, what you foresee of appreciation value in property, especially in Mon Kiara?
Okay. If you got crystal ball, I sailang lah, right? If I know, if I go back when you launch, I would have buy a floor lah, right? Straight away.
Oh, wow.
So go and ask uncle, please. I know. Yeah, lor. So to me, I don't bang on capital appreciation because my investment philosophy, I expect my investment to increase by 0. A bit crazy, but that's how I think. 30 years from now, if it's 0 capital appreciation, I'm fine. That's why I can buy a lot. Right? Is it going to happen? No, most likely because inflation is on my side. That's why a lot of people complain inflation, right? Once you buy property, you won't complain already. Then, instead, I will bank on rentability. Just now when he kind of touched, I think numbers, his brain a bit more faster, right? I kind of speak in human language a bit. 500 ringgit per month equals to 100,000 in value. So let's say if you rent out 3,000 today, next month you revise your tenancy agreement, you rent out 3,005. Wow, you 1 year make 6 more thousand only, right? Actually, no. Your property value increased 100,000 in value. Why? Because when you want to sell to investors, sell back to men like us again, we will calculate back to percentage one. What's the ROI yield? I'm selling 5% or 6% yield. Actually, it's like 600 ringgit extra and 500 ringgit extra only. That's also why I put in a lot of money for furnishing, right? I put in 30, 40,000 just to increase 500 rental. Kuku on the floor, right? Put 40,000 to increase 500. How many years and months only you can break even? They don't see. I push up 500, right? Immediately I double my value of the property already. Then suddenly if I want to exit with tenancy agreement, then that's capital appreciation. Because that's one way of how capital appreciation works when people buy you over in ROI format. Investor buy. The other format of capital appreciation is how much more people are willing to buy off your house to live in the address. I call that the Desa Park City lah. Right? From 400,000 to 18 years ago, an uncle buy 10 years later at 1.6 million. Is it expensive or not? Crazy price, 10 years ago. Just sold the house that I reviewed. Everyone say crazy lah, old house lah, 2.6 million, right? 1 week after the video sold. Oh, and to the uncle, cheap ma. I get a lender in Desa Park City, okay ma. So then it comes back to the property of property. It makes sense, right? It's a finite. You only get one chance to build whatever. Okay, so only two ways also in terms of rentability, that's how capital appreciation will work. The other way is you kick in the emotional factor where it's only and one and only. So that's why I think about it, why their first project makes a lot of sense. If I don't rent your place, like if it's a 600 square feet one, right? Small to small, chin chai lah, right? Very easy. But from a 2,000 square feet to a 2,000 square feet, right? Which other project there in Bangsar South? Like based on my database, like one more only lah, and that's not that big. And Park Residence, the time when people buy, also people scared one. That time was Kampung Kerinci time, right? So again, when you think about it, when there are people who wants to buy and live in Mon Kiara, 2,000 square feet, what else? That's where the demand and supply kicks in already. And then you imagine, right? That the problem of product of such is a lot of people have not seen a very well built 2,000 square feet unit, really. To describe better, right? It's your double story house, 22 by 75. You take out two like that, stack together, add the staircase some more. It's still bigger than that. Then now I see a lot of phenomenon where a lot of people are downsizing. Not downgrade, actually more expensive, but they downsize. Why? Because it's one level. And at the age where you are like 40, 50 plus, okay, like people who can buy this property, they're already my level, right? They don't want to concern about cutting the grass lah, right? They want to travel as much lah, right? So these are the things that you need to take into consideration. Then when you put yourself in the income level, okay, can this make sense or not? That's how I think about capital appreciation. Will I harp on it? No. Because 30 years later, eventually the property is mine. But if can flip better, of course, right? Who don't want money? So that's my take on capital appreciation.
For me, when it comes to property, like when you look at Mon Kiara, I think there are a few factors that you want to consider, right? Maybe as usual, I'll just share a little bit about my own experience, right? If you watch a video of mine that I bought some lousy properties in the apartment area kind of thing, right? Walk up. I remember at that point, a lot of people say that this is a very lousy place. Why do you want to buy? No one will ever live here. But the only information that changed the game was we knew that LRT will be built. Yeah. And that effect is very powerful. Because after 3 years, the property doubled in value. Today, the property is very the value already went down, but I still get minimum 70% increase. Previously it was 100 over, now it's 70. Yeah, because price drop already. But that's the power of things around. So that's why when you want to look at an area in terms of property, right, you want to ask yourself, the first question is, what's the future development? Yeah. Connectivity is another thing that's very, very powerful. And that's why when they are willing to build that road, and government is thinking about building another road, it's very, very powerful things. Because you can change anything about property, You cannot change things outside, Yeah. Any one of you are willing to build a road, just to make it more convenient, no, right? You can't, right? So these are unchangeable facts. Now, the next thing is commercial activity. I always think that commercial activity is the most important thing. Just look at KL, right? You know Jalan Ampang along that road? Do you notice that development just keep going on? Why? Because got KLCC down there. Very simple. Last time, until the Ampang LRT station there, that was like still considered hot, right? Yeah, once you cross the road, no more hot already, right? Then it's a car showroom, everything all. Today you cross the road, what do you see? You see another new, like, hangout night place, right? It's just going to be a matter of time that it's going to extend further. Now, another thing that you want to take a look at is rental, like what Ian mentioned, right? One of the tricks that I learned in my early days of investing in property is that if rental rate don't go up, property value stay the same. So we did this thing where we went into the property, we knocked door by door, just to ask people how much you are renting and when did you rent. Then I learned one very big lesson during that time. A lot of people when they buy a property, right, they don't increase rent, because can collect money very easily, Then why will increase it? Then it developed this philosophy in me, right, that you increase 50, next year also you increase. The slowest also 2 years once you increase 50. Why is that very important? You need to bring up the value. Now, so who won't go and increase price? Usually people who don't really care, or either you really, really need that stability of rental. So you all look at location now. Remember during COVID time, everything was very bad. How many properties you see from Mon Kiara going Lelong? Not that many. Other places got a lot. Yeah? Not that many. Why not that many? Who usually buy Mon Kiara? People who are rich. People got holding power and there. They may reduce the price of it, but won't go until Lelong usually. Yeah. So they got the holding power. And that is very, very important because when the community around all have holding power, if you ever go and see property in Mon Kiara, usually it's not even the owner come out on right? Usually they'll send someone, then someone will come and give you a key. Oh, the owner is in Singapore, the owner is in UK, or either the, like whatever right? Basically, it's just not their management. So that's how rich they are. So it means that this particular area, generally, they don't really care less. Can rent out, rent out. Can rent out, I don't rent out. The price must be right. And so that is that holding thought of the people around the area. They won't go to a point that everyone want to like throw price. So that's why the value stays. Number two is that it is a fantastic address for businesses. Can run already. So there's two kind of people who stay in Mon Kiara. Number one, very rich, or either expat, that category, the T20s. And there's the other category, people who are emerging, who are opening a business there, who need to work. Stuff like that. So these people, so there's two levels, right? One, the people with the choices. Yeah? So when it comes to people with the choices, naturally, if you want them to be your market, you need to make sure your property is that kind. So what's that kind? Generally, it's a property that makes me very happy to stay in, and I'm willing to pay. So that's why design is very, very, very important, right? So like this one, big, 2,000 over square feet. How many players are there? Got 20, about 20, like that. 20 over apartments got like, I think, I'm not really sure.
Wow. What you think I...
you are like the
Wikipedia.
Wiki, Mon Kiara Wiki. Yeah. And the same thing with Bond Estate in Bangsar South, right? Do you know minimum rental is 8,000 ringgit? And that's for partially or unfurnished unit. Better unit is about 13,000, 15,000, even higher, right? Yeah. Why is it so? Because if you look at the whole Bangsar South area, regardless of no matter what you think is dying, the sphere, what are the companies that are there? Touch and Go, CIMB, and all those crypto companies also go there one, you know. I don't know why, the fintech center, it's literally a fintech center. Then next door, there's KL Eco City, right? KL Eco City is another one. Also a lot of big companies are going to there. Then if I got 1,000 company go there lah, and means I got 1,000 bosses lah, just one person very highly paid lah, right? Then they want to live good ma, because they're bosses ma, right? You want to live in a 2,000 square feet, very luxurious apartment, or you want to live in a 1,000 square feet, everyone else live. You sure I live in a big one, right? Then you ask yourself this question, Bangsa South area, how many are there? Very little near. Yeah. There are two only. You have no choice, you have to go. And that's a power of commercial activity that anchors a place. So if you ask me, Mon Kiara, what's the potential return? I think the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you see roads? Do you see connectivity? Do you see possibility of a RT? Do you see the brand of a commercial activity going on? If those are the things, the only downside is, and oh, by the way, you all know MM2H is in talks to come up again, right? And government now is, you all watch my show, you know that we all talk to a lot of policymakers. Yeah, so we always go and like pry some information. Yeah, so find out some stuff. But if you look at the trend, the government is encouraging people to come in with direct investment. Not buy stocks, direct investment. Government is encouraging people to come in and build businesses. Yeah. So that's why the talks right now is opening up MM2H again, making it more streamlined again. Then again, he said this one thing that was very, very true, right? If you buy in PJ, how much? 2 million. You buy in KL, 1 million. Where can you buy? There's 1 million that's near to KL and PJ. Mon Kiara. So one location there. Literally, I feel it more like PJ than KL, honestly.
Got like KLGCC a little bit more lah.
Yeah, but that's the point. So you have to ask yourself this question of whether is there a potential or not in that area. And then the downside, honestly, is if Malaysia is not doing well. But if Malaysia is not doing well, then I think the concern shouldn't even be about buying property, right? Yeah, it's livelihood and everything else already. Yeah, so yeah, if you're going to assume Malaysia is not doing well, your mindset should be, I want to migrate. Then that's all. Don't need to talk about all these ideas. Yeah.
Okay, see, right? Mon Kiara is not a very big area, correct? It's a small area. So the typical sales pitch would usually go, this is not a big area, this is the last piece of land, you better buy now, right? If not, you'll miss your chance. But just now, Jin Wai mentioned, in Mon Kiara, there are 17,000 units. Yeah, close to 17,000 units. The whole Bandar Utama, right, so big, right? Chances are, I think there are only a few thousand only. So then you think about it, then why should I go to Mon Kiara? But when you always miss Mon Kiara and go for something else, then you always see people in Mon Kiara who invest property there. They will tell you, oh, my rental how good lah, 5,000 ringgit a month lah. No, I make money lah, I just sold my unit for 30% gain and things like that. So what's going on there, right? It's like defying economic concepts like that, right? So actually there's this thing called the economies of cluster. Now what does it mean, right? Have you ever been to one row of shops? That same row, 10 or 12 units, you've got 7-Eleven, KK Mart, Family Mart, My News and all. They're all there and all making money. Right? Why? It's because as a consumer, when I want to buy something, let's say I want to buy a can of Coca-Cola, right? And I'm so happen to be around the area. Immediately, I will remember that row of street, I got a lot of choices that I can go. So it attracted me as a consumer to go to the area. Now, when I'm in the area, then that's a different story already. Maybe Family Mart got offer, then I go there and buy. But the point here is the economies of cluster to attract the people to go there. So that's why Mon Kiara is always a good area for rental, number one. And number two, it's the area for expats to go and rent a place if they're working in KL. Right? Like Sean was sharing with us yesterday, he was meeting with one of the UK chap, right? And then this UK chap was staying all the way in the UK. Malaysia so big, right? He don't know what are the areas in Malaysia, but he knows Mon Kiara.
Mon
right?
Kiara.
Mon Kiara, he knows. Right?
Ah.
So this is the power of economies of cluster. And I suppose that is also the reason why property developers, big and small, they will continue to develop that area. And I think the only thing that they need to improve on is the connectivity side of things, because always, very often, all these developers, they will throw this responsibility back to the authorities. And I think that's where kudos for you guys also, like, you'll take the initiative to do it yourself. Very high cost, but I think it's definitely going to be beneficial for at least the properties on that row of streets. My unit is not on that street, unfortunately, it's next door. But
Bond want to build another one at Kiara 4 or not?
yeah, maybe you can think of building
Representing
another one.
Kiara 3, thank you first.
You can just buy Mon Kiara. So.
Oh yeah, can think about it. Yeah. So yeah, so that is something for us to consider. So why a small piece of area like that with 17,000 units, but the dynamic is so different from another area?
I wouldn't comment so much about investment because it's a bit biased. But I think I let the seafoods here to talk about it. But I think one point to fact is that, as I mentioned just now, as the price point is around this price, about 600 plus per square feet. I'm not sure any of you have seen a showroom yet, but if you can see the quality of the unit that you're going to be getting, the design of the details, you can perhaps identify that we are not here to cut corners in what you're going to get. You're going to get a bit more value at the end of the day to differentiate how you can compete in the market, which is so-called very densely populated in terms of competition or products-wise there. So, yeah, I wouldn't comment so much on this investment part.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. So now I'd like to open the floor to questions. So anyone would like to ask any question to these four gentlemen? Can you please reach out to them?
Hello. I have a few questions on the EV charging isolators that will be provided. Firstly, what is the max power draw that it's capable of? Secondly, does it allow simultaneous charging for all the 400 bays at the max load? And also, how does the metering work? Thanks.
Technical questions. Engineer? All right, so it's an AC power. In terms of kilowatts, it's about 7 kilowatts. But nevertheless, these days, EV cars can't go up to 7 kilowatts anyway. So it's going to be... Sorry? Yeah, some, not all. Yeah, some, depending on which brand you buy. Yeah, so that one, they have to go to the common one, which you're going to provide a DC charger. Yeah, so it's two different offerings because we cannot fulfill 100%. Because when we fulfill 100%, TMB substation is going to be required. Yeah, so I won't go into details, but nevertheless, it's 7 kilowatt. That's what I need to understand. Usually, your car charges about 3.6 kilowatts. It's good enough to charge up. It takes about 8 hours. Anyway, you're parking in your own bay. You're not parking in a common one. So it's good enough. If you want to compare versus leaded house, it's different because you have a 3-phase installed and you can simultaneously charge as well. So to answer your third question of 410 units to charge simultaneously together, highly unlikely will ever happen because you will see if there's a petrol station next to your development, 410 cars are going to be parked there. So it's never going to happen. Impossible. And of course, a substation is not possible as well. So yeah, that's my answer to you. Sorry? The metering is to a sub meter. It's not towards your resident unit, that's for sure, because it's a residential unit. So residential unit have their own meter. Common car parks will have a different meter. So what you need to do is you need to apply with the management office and say, hey, I'm going to have an EV car, I need a charge. Then they'll turn it on for you. If not, everyone will steal your point and charge. Then you do not know who's going to be charging it. Right? So there's, we are providing all these facilities and conveniences. But of course, abuse is human nature, which we very difficult for us to control. So these are the few steps that we can help to control. Yeah.
All right, thank you for the question. Anyone else?
Well, you use Peter mic,
Hello. So I think I saw Iheng's video just recently regarding the future of property. I want to ask is that what do you see this Mon Kiara is pet friendly as well? What do you see in terms of pet friendly, in terms of the trend towards in the future?
Besides pet friendly or because of pet friendly?
More like specifically dogs lah.
Oh.
I own 2 dogs. I
Ah.
just want to know like what you see like more properties adapting this trend.
That's the reason why I made that video, because it's not common. Ultimately, we live in Malaysia, right? So, and it also carries a lot of trouble if I'm the management office. It's easier to just say not allowed. If anything wrong, droppings, your dog bite other dog, then personally, I'm not a dog person, because in my condo, even when the management say no, people still rare, right? Then when I say, wait, you cannot bring dog here, why you insult my dog? He's my child, you know? Kena, left, right, center. Then your child poo-poo everywhere. Oh, whatever lah. That's why I think it's a very good debate, because a lot of people, because of their fur kids, they live very far away because they need a landed. But then, by allowing, it's just a management clause actually. But what they are doing different is you have a pet park and things like that. So my visit to Manchester, right, I see them, their lobby is like dog park like that one. But every dog needs to go through training. That was the criteria. So it's ayo. So the problem then will be on regulations part, which is so again up to abuse also. Then with this clause, then a lot of people's options suddenly open. Instead of landed, now I can live in a high rise and it's closer to work. Because a lot of people like the amount of emails that complain, right? Easy for you to say you don't have children. Like, really? I got one man. No, I got 3 dogs. They walao. Right? So to me, I'm not here to justify whether or not, but in the future, it will be good to have. So I think it's good to have, just that in terms, it's a very vague thing. Like you allow, then it's not allowed in common areas. So that is up to the management part of things. If you want to go real detail, right? Like they will use separate lift only. They will use specific parks only. That must be on leash all the time. These are the things that should be in place. But it's extra cost to the developer to do all these. That's why if I'm the developer, right, good luck. Okay, if I'm the developer, right, everybody will suffer one. Because I will prioritize profit only. So it's easier for me to not provide. That's why when they put up this one, I think it's a good thing. And it comes in a combo. Means that, okay, because I visit 3 properties a week, right, old and new. So like speed ramp is a thing that I wish I made a video about it 4 years ago. Because I went to Justco, last time it's Aeon, now Aeon, last time it's Justco, you go up to the rooftop. That's the speed ramp concept. Because the worst thing about high rise is to get up, right? So like your condo, okay, I visited his unit, right? So if it's a scissors ramp, half a floor time, right? Then you are on 8th floor, right? You need to go through 16 times. That's why there are a lot of people who has the car park lot above, they will pay extra to rent from the owners at the bottom. It saves them a lot of time. So that is more important to me than facilities-wise. So a lot of people don't like facility floor because noisy. They isolate out. But it's because of the land profile also, that's why they do like that. Then they have a quiet zone and things like that. So they are actually way more than just the pet-friendly thing that I wish that you can pay more attention. Because it's just like, oh, I cannot sell already. This one pet-friendly. But it actually comes with a lot more hardware with it. So the hardware then need enforcement some more. Then you're talking about people's children, cannot simply offend some more. Jialat, right? So it's an extra effort. I do see it's good. Do I see it's common? No. Because a lot of trouble. Like the boss say, yes, very good, right? For the employee, walao. Now I need to think about, now you got dog consultant or not? Really, like now the pet-friendly malls also are coming up, where they focus a lot on vets or whatsoever, right? Then they got specific pathway for pets only. But then Malaysia is for reference on my news. right? Rules are for reference. No U-turn. Yeah. Right? So that's my take on the question.
All right, thank you for the question and the answer. So, anyone else?
Any questions, bro? You also paise.
Wow.
Hey, Lai. Wow, got notes on it. Oh, play. Oh.
He said to write your questions. So. Actually, if you ask me, I can keep asking questions, so I have to selectively pick. So,
Okay.
I think the one I'll go for is, how do you start to see signs of your property is turning into a bad investment? And what would you do if you start seeing these signs? Sorry for the negative.
I think when you see the stars gleam, yeah, or maybe, no lah. For me, I think when you look at a property deteriorating, right? I think if you talk about condos, lah, right? Generally, it starts from the management side. You start seeing common facilities deteriorating and stuff, right? But I think that all those are still savable as long as you are more willing to be involved in JMB. You're more hardworking. That is a fun part, lah, right? Yeah, you have the strong people around. That's why it's very important that when you look at a property, right, the best thing is don't ever get there, you know. Like for example, even in stock investment or whatnot, it's about not getting there. It's not about when I'm there, I go and deal with the problem. You want to choose something that you're not going to go into there, right? So if you look at this whole building, not specifically this, you may, first thing you want to ask yourself is, how many people who are buying here are just speculators and they can't hold? Now, naturally, here is where you will see the packages of developer come in. Yeah. Where, like, for example, here, there's no such thing as discount of down payment. Why? They want to make sure you got money. You can hold the fort. Yeah, you got no money, don't buy here. I'd rather not sell so fast. Because later you all come in, you all cannot pay maintenance there. Jalat, this whole place is going to go down. Right? Yeah, so these are some of the things that you want to pay attention to. So looking at how they sell the property itself will give you an indication of whether is it going to be a good property. Right? Number two, commercial area around there. So my personal bet lah, I call it a bet, or like I look at potential of a place. It has to be strong evidence. What do I mean by that is that if I'm looking at a place, number one, it has to already have a very strong commercial activity going around. It's not, I think that there's going to be a strong commercial activity. So if you look at Kiara, when you look at Jalan Kiara 1, Kiara 3, and the area, is it I think there are commercial activity or is there commercial activity? Which one? You all don't know? You've never been to Kiara? Yeah, there is, ma. How many of you all go drink in Kiara? Right? Yeah.
I don't drink.
Okay. Yeah. So, but my point is that there has to be something going on, right? Then you don't go there. So usually the thing that will lead to the deterioration it is, number one, that place is not yet, it's just a potential. Number two is that it is not stable enough. So what do I mean not stable enough? It's very new. People are still not going in. So you want to see whether a place, right, can grow or not. This is one thing that I see. I don't know whether is it the best indicator. You will never be able to snap up the commercial lot one. It's always a residential lot available. You know why? Because, right, the developer themselves got friend. Yeah, no joke, right? Yeah, they don't do commercial, so I dare say lah. The developer will sell to their friends at the end. Yeah, snap up immediately. And what's the best, right, is because their name is on the line. When I sell to my friend, my name is on the line. So usually what's left is residential unit. Yeah, you look at some W, anyone else also like that one. Same one. Within half an hour, or not even launch, this snap up already. I also don't know why they do the launch for sometimes, just to show only. Just to tell you that I'm fair. But actually no, snap up already. Right? So that is the thing that helps to answer a question, I believe. So if I look at a building when it starts to go deteriorating, it's the JMB, that's number one. But if you look at the area of landed wise, I think it's very hard to see deterioration. unless a whole mall fall or either, you know, that kind of thing. Lah. So because if you look at a land area kind of thing, right, it really boils down to commercial. Okay, another thing, if this place got commercial, right, next door they open another commercial. Let's say imagine Kiara Tree at the back there, they open another commercial. But this commercial is all illegal stuff. Then sorry, sorry, sorry. But if you look at Kiara, still got place.
So that's why a lot of developers they will sequence in.
So his story, talking about how to use story to build it up. So the story is when he first invested in the first property, he was in US, bought 1 unit at 8,000 for subprime, right? So then he called the family said, 1 unit, cannot get financing lah, you know, why don't we buy more? Okay, then end up one sapu 100 over unit, okay? After sapu 100 over unit, right? Then what happened? You cannot sapu finish yet, ma. So what he do is that he hire in a team of maintenance guy to fix up the units. And because now he's the new ruler of the JMB, yeah, he start to have rules. So most of the rule go in his favor. So people also start to feel like, like might as well lay one side, like that, right? So he said, you know what? I offer to buy out all of you all. Then he buy it, offered 6,000 this time. So he whacked everything. So after he whacked everything in US, right? The whole development, basically he whacked everything already. Then what he did is that in US got this issue. Sometimes it's a black area. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry. Please don't cancel me, right? Yeah, African American area. Yeah. And what happens is that many people are not earning very well. So they struggle to pay their rent. So what did he do? He actually did a payday loan. This payday loan is only exclusive for people who stay there. And the rates are lower. So that you go and give your salary slip, then you get your advancement. And when the company pay the salary, they pay you. And the first thing you do is deduct rental. So he created a whole ecosystem. Then after further on, he accumulates some more, he buys some land there. To put the whole story, long story short, over the period of 10 years, he invested probably about like 70 million. Yeah. Came back with 400 over million. Sold to PE fund. because of how he create the whole thing and really built a, literally a story and an income model with property. Okay, but that kind of model is something maybe for y'all can do, but for me it's still dream of huh? Yeah. Yeah, but that's is another level lah. So talking about stories and everything all and how to increase the value, these are some of those things at the bigger scale if you can do.
Yeah, some of the signs that you can see your rental coming down and all that, it's pretty obvious. Like your building 20 years never repaint, and then you start to see a lot of rubbish around, and then the quality of the tenants coming in also, there's a little bit of problem and whatnot. But those are easier to solve. What you need to do is just to exercise your right as an owner of the unit and go to the AGM and say, hey, can we change the president and make things better, right? So that one is still okay. If you recall, not too long ago, maybe 20 years ago, Ampang was sort of known as a little Korea, right? A lot of Koreans in the area. But today, where are they now? They are all in Mon Kiara. So those are structural change, You cannot say, I changed the president of Mon Kiara, then the Koreans will come back. No, it's no such thing. It's because there are more place-making effort and more design that cater towards that community and attracted the community from one area to another area. So this one is very hard to change. So, and that one, because it's a macro thing, as a single individual, you cannot do anything. So at this point in time, what you need to do is always be aware of your community and surroundings. And if you think something not right, hey, how come this building, last time all Koreans one, now all starts to become Middle Eastern? Maybe there's a structural change and you want to find out why. And if the reason defeats your investment purpose, maybe you can start offering in iProperty, right? And go for something else that you want in the future, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I think three of them repeated the same thing. I shared it yesterday as well. I think, as I mentioned earlier, there's a huge supply of competition, small sizes and middle sizes. The first and foremost, if I cannot get a tenant for small sizes, the first thing I'm not going to pay would be my maintenance fees. But I'll still service the bank because, your DSR cannot be impacted, right? And everything is more critical. So that puts in a different position as well. Would you want to go into a market where competition is stiff? Or would you want to go into a market where there is competition, but yet you have a different profile of tenants, of potential tenants? And as I mentioned earlier, if it's a family, company pays, chances are it's a bit more punctual. It's also a bit more secure. And hopefully your 2 months deposit is not utilized to fix whatever things that's damaged within the unit. Right? So I think that's one thing I would highlight, because that's where bigger size units would have a different profile, different attraction, different portfolio. And competition is a bit different. That's the first thing. The other second thing is I wanted to highlight was also that you mentioned with regards to how to, in a way, mitigate it. I'm not sure what everyone practices, but when I invest personally, especially condos or service apartments, when there's a JMB there and there's accounts, I would usually go and see whether there is a friendly party who I know who has purchased, and hopefully get citing of the accounts, audited accounts. Why? You may want to know how much cash they have. Because if the building has cash, they probably can manage the building well. Building deteriorates because of no money, no collection, or other reasons So that could be another one way that you can pick up. That's what I do personally. I don't know who does it, but I do it myself. So that's where I ensure that the property itself has the ample funds to do the necessary maintenance or rectification works that's required as well. Yeah.
Actually,
Alright.
that's a strategy that a group of investors in the market is doing. They will identify old buildings, then they look into audited accounts, got cash, then 8 or 10 people, or actually more, like 25 people all together, all start buying in the same building, then all voice out, we need to paint the building. Or we exercise the sinking fund, right? Everybody vote, and AGM always no people come on, right? So they become majority, and they suddenly, once they repaint, the value goes up and they should always make money.
It's true because once a building is more than 8 years old and it's repainted, immediately you feel fresher. I mean, yeah, I had a haircut and so I was like, I feel fresher as well, right? So same thing. So I think that applies to the building itself. Of course, building outlook is one thing, common area, pool is another thing as well. But again, if there's funds in the accounts, that's one way to mitigate it. That's my one personal approach. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for the question, for clicking for the answer. All right. Last question before we end this session. Anyone else? All right. That's good too.
Hello, my name is Sarah. So I'm 22 years old. So so young. Okay. So even though my looks old one. Okay. Okay. So I actually bought my first property this year. Okay, and so I'm thinking to buy another one, but this one is under construction. I buy that one because of the brand. Okay, for me, I'm a I type person. So I will say, oh, very nice, very beautiful, I buy. Never think about the ROI or capital appreciation. So now thinking to buy the second property, I thinking back already. Okay, so because that one is under con. So thinking to buy the second property, I want to choose the sub-sales. But when I check sub-sale, is it good or not? Or maybe I also can take the undercon project also. But I also check my DSR also lah, and pretty fine is can support until the VP time. But at the end of the day, I also want the opportunity of the finance that I can find in the property lah.
No, that was the question.
Is it good to buy the sub-sale? Or maybe I think the undercon project?
Okay. Personally, as an investor, I love sub-sale. Why? Because I am actually paying for certainty. The absolute thing that sub-sale can do that new properties cannot do is certainty. Means that I exactly know what's the rental rate next door. I exactly know what's my neighbor selling for. I exactly know what's my view, what's my build quality, who's my neighbor, the road got cracked or not. Everything I see already. Only I buy. So that's why I'm always questioning people who buy property who lose money, right? You already know it's losing money, why you buy? But maybe everyone also very emotional and whatever, right? So then it also, the second thing then, it boils down to your ambition. Are you a person who's going to just settle with 3 properties, or you're going to be like me, 25 properties? Wow. Oh. Technically, okay lah, okay. I don't want to spill. Everybody clap hand. I'm going to spill cold water. Walao. My take is if you want to do that, right, sub-sale will be the way, because you need to wait another 4 years. And once you buy, the problem with, as an investor, I don't like new property is because it locks down my time. Until VP, right? VP later, another 2 months for construction, then another 6 more months. If I immediately rent out, another 6 months for you to get recognized before I can sign another loan. Then you want to retire by 30, right? You said 30 is very short only, There's like 8 years. 8 years only, right? Within 8 years, then you need extra cash flow 1,000 per unit, which is very good already. And your lifestyle, let's say you need 6, right? You need 3 by now. Too late already. Because I bought also at 22. So I buy every year, right? So that's me. So again, that's why I kind of know where you are. But if your capital is okay, you can afford certainty. How I will do it is I will buy both. Why? I buy sub-sale, put in 18%, furnish it out, rent it out at a positive. 6 months later, my DSR increase. I go for the developer. Then I'll try to ask for the best price possible. So then the last component to your option is your channel of buying. So here, if you follow my channel, then you know where I'm going with this. So here is not as convenient to talk about it, but then you got 4 different channels to buy property, right? New, sub-sale, auction, and bulk purchase. But not all developer works with bulk purchase companies. So you need to understand that. And that need to match with your intent, your ambition. So by 30, I think is pushing it. By 50, maybe.
By 50 is maybe because by 30, right, you are rushing when nobody is forcing you, you know. Yeah, then you're taking all these risks, right, for no reason. Because that's exactly me. I need to prove to people, like nobody, no one, like everybody got their own problem. Right? And when I got like 6 to 8 properties at that time, right, I don't hang my SPA around also. So that's why property investors, right, no opportunities to flex on. They got 100 over property, UK, not him, his friend. Yeah. So really low, if you want to go that route, right, it's a very risky route. So the only not so risky thing that you can do is to go sub-sale. But sub-sale, then you need to bet on the future. Like for me, I cannot buy now because I just bought. I'm now waiting for my tenancy to actually can start rolling. 6 months later, I'm going to book another. Then I got 2 more in the pipeline. Before they VP, then I will buy this at sub-sale. That's my game. But of course, it's capital intensive. So do you have capital? Then plays a big role. If no more capital, EPF got money or not? but at 22, not enough. Then you see where I'm going? Then you got life insurance.
Maybe a lot, You never know.
22.
Maybe EPF a lot,
Or maybe
she earning a lot of money now already.
Oh, yeah lah.
1 month already counting your 10 years EPF maybe.
Shit. Yeah. So that's the difference. So you gotta really have clarification on what you want to achieve, then dial back. Because like when we say new and sub-sale, right, it's 2 property there, ma. Why not both? Why stop at 2? This is me, okay? This is not so responsible, but that's something that you need to think about.
All right, thank you. Last question.
Hi. So basically, I feel like it's more like a continuation of one of the previous question, but being more specific. So coming back to Mon Kiara, because you guys stress about the investment value of Mon Kiara a lot, but does it only apply to a few key projects and a few main roads in that area, like Jalan Kiara 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it also applies to the stretch of like Solaris and Sri Hatamas? Because as far as I'm concerned, right, there's a few upcoming projects like in those areas, like I don't view it very positively. Yeah, so one of it being like, let's say Arte Solaris. Yeah, because that project, right, is about like 55 to 60 floors. And then it's like a Soho or something, commercial title or something. And then they cut it into very small units. And then the entry point is about 400,000. And then the developer's reputation. And then also, would this like change the demographic in that area drastically? Because you talk about the value of the area, like back then Ampang, now to Mon Kiara. So would this kind of project, and also like not considering the other factors like the traffic factors, everything, because the road is like only 2 very narrow lanes in the Solaris area. So would this actually, like this kind of project would jeopardize the value of Mon Kiara, or would it only add more vibrancy into the market?
Wow, wait, look at me. Okay. You want to go first?
I go first? Yeah, I think that I think that when it comes to this question, right, it's just kind of, okay, think about it. Today you want to marry into a family that's very rich, right? Right, like let's say YTL, right? Very rich family. Yeah. Do you want to marry the son directly, or the cousin's son punya nephew? Yeah, still yo. So naturally you want the closest lah. So the point that I want to say is this: like whenever you look at development area, right, you want to look at the heart. Where's the heart? The next area closest to a heart always have the highest chance of succeed. But further away from the heart has higher chance of failure. Because same thing with developer, right? Now, if the developer is play one, I just want to whack the fastest. You have a lot of consideration. That's why you notice the advertisement is always 15 minutes away from Kiara, 20 minutes away. But actually when you drive, you don't feel like it's 15 minutes. I feel it's a bit far, right? Yeah. because land acquisition costs are lower, all these kind of things, right? Now, my point is that when it's very near, then the chances of failure is lower because land you cannot change. If my office is next door, I want to walk 5 minutes, whether is it ugly or beautiful, I need to walk 5 minutes. So I got no choice. But if I walk 15 minutes, there's another choice there. So that is the question, firstly, right? Number two, will it affect the area there and make the price go up or down? Generally, thanks to inflation, it is very hard to go down some more. Yeah, it's very hard to go down some more. Yeah. So if let's say you bought a property 5 years ago and today got a new development, it's the same price as 5 years ago. Do you think it's a good buy? Do you think it's a steal immediately? Most of you, the answer will be close eye and buy, no need to think, right? Yeah, because inflation 5 years, 5%, 5%, 5%. Bro, there's a huge discount, right? So this thing also comes down to the next part, right? When you want to look at an area, they should have more and more new development coming up. Because, like when you talk about Mon Kiara, you look at any one benchmarking a location, right? Their answer is always that area. Wow, now 800 per square feet already. Now 1,002 per square feet already. So they don't talk about the whole unit size, they talk about per square feet. Per square feet, right? That place is like that. Yeah. So with that increase, they will always benchmark against the past. So when you benchmark against the past, unless you really bought something that's so bad, yeah, generally it will go up together. Now, and I know that even the worst one will go up together because the way I hunt for property generally is the worst one. Because for me, it's a safety net. It's a safety net. Like Vista Kiara 3, Vista Kiara, it's 1,400 square feet. The ceiling is lower, everything is a lot more uglier, but thanks to Mon Kiara, JMB, they tend to be very nice. They make everything very beautiful. No? So but how ugly also beautiful. So who stay in that unit mostly? It is either expats who are not paid very well, but well enough, or either people renting for their staff, or either families who are not very rich, but wants to stay in Mon Kiara, right? So there's not much of a choice suddenly, but these few units. So my point that I want to say is this, right? End of the day, the development around the area will determine the price of that place. If it's a whole new development, means today is a flat piece of land. There's no existing commercial activity. The first commercial activity could determine the brand. But when you look at a matured area like Mon Kiara, where it's already very established, it is hard. Unless suddenly the whole Kampong Segambut turn into a casino, and not legal casino, but lousy casino with a lot of nonsense. Then it becomes a whole, illegal area kind of thing. But what are the odds, right? What are the odds? So that's the thing that hope it answers your question.
Yeah, put it this way, right? So 3 of us also have units in Mon Kiara. And the fact that Mon Kiara is going to build a building there, right? Somehow we are a little bit worried that they will pull some competition over there, right? So let's say, for example, my tenant and his tenants, they are friends. They decided to pool money together, rent a bigger unit together. Then we lost our rental. But Arte specifically, it's a little bit far away from the main Mon Kiara itself. And Mon Kiara, if you think about it, right, it's a very walking community. They walk to buy groceries, they jog around. It's all within that 3 km radius, plus minus. But when it's something so far away and it's more units and 50, 60 floors and you need to drive to go everywhere, right? It becomes it never crossed at least my mind that Arte is a competition, I put it that way. Yeah.
I think by design it's also different. By design they put it flexi suites, right? So they can run short-term stay. Just like the precedent in the next street, right? And the next street everyone thought that is very bad, right? But actually to me, did the developer make a fault? I think it's a fabulous job. It's a maintenance problem. It's a management problem. And you ask the owners there, right, are they suffering? No. Because the profile of people staying there, right, is one-timers. It's the bad hotels, right, still got business one. Because The profile of people just come and go, come and go, come and go. And the weirdest thing is people, a lot of this, I just learned this lah. A lot of people, we all Airbnb outside. We go Penang Airbnb, right? We go Kuantan Airbnb. No, now Penang cannot Airbnb already. A lot of people come to KL and they specifically come to KL for Airbnb one. That's why if you look into the traffic in RT Mon Kiara, it's crazy packed one. That's why that's why now a lot of projects within KL also they're running the same scheme. And for this project, then it's absolutely different. I'm very confident that this one no short-term stay one. Right? Then is it, and you think about it, right? Why you see so congested already? Everybody, you see the plot of land. I work there, also my office is just there. I look at it, walao, like they also want to build. Really, no place to build already, you know, they still die, squeeze in, right? They piece out a bit more. Stand there a bit. Die, still want a location, that indicates something. And with the same case study, Dutama's highest per square feet is 1,003. Right? The project also I reviewed before. At the same level, also, the one I bought is around 600 per square feet. So the one I thought was a steal is next to a cemetery, is next to a KTM station, is next to a pylon, 600 per square feet. Then when you tell me in the premium street, right, got a one also 600 per square feet. Walao. Right? So does your theory matters like got one bad project affect the whole thing? Not really. Because it's unnatural, unless it's an incomplete project. If it's an incomplete project, then it's valid, meaning it's abandoned. It's like USJ1 like that. So, but now Segi came out already and it changed already, ma. Suddenly you have international school, all the whole street now, the latest launch also there, ma. Right? So that's why your theory is, it's a good narration, but will it affect or not from a developer point of view? From an investor point of view, no lah. I don't think so.
Thank you. Just to add on, I think even like the Solaris one is selling is almost 1,001.
Yeah, very expensive.
1,001 per square feet as well for shoe size, I would say, right? And clearly, there's also other projects launching nearby there, 1,002, 1,003 per square feet. So I think to answer, the price holding is still there, but it's just a very different segment altogether. Ours is really just residential homestay. That is more of day Airbnb sort of a stay. So it's very different. Probably business travelers, maybe. Yeah.
Because actually their competition is at Jalan 7. Kiara 7. And Jalan Kiara 7, if you go up, right, it's a very different profile. A lot of people will hang out at the low level, right? But because when you go out Jalan Kiara 7, after Jangkat Kiara, you need to drive up one. It's a different world. And suddenly I go up there, wow. And because I can fly the drone, wow, different. So then, with that, then it becomes a better comparison. Do you want more privacy with the same price, or do you want to be closer to action at the same price?
All right.
Closer to action with a lower price.
Yeah, okay.
All
Closer to action. We do that, I'll edit.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for your question. In closing, I want to express my heartfelt thanks for the insightful discussion today. For those who are considering your next property investment, remember to choose what aligns best with your location preference, budget, and life goal. Whether it's for your own residence or investment venture, we wish you a great success in your endeavors. If you haven't had the chance to visit our show unit in Mon Kiara project, it's convenient located in level 3. So please feel free to approach our colleague in the counter, and also please like and follow our page, Mon Kiara, in social media, Facebook and Instagram. Thank you and have a pleasant weekend. Bon Estates.